Welcome to Morning with Madi. In this episode, I am joined by my friend Jasmine, the amazing woman behind Women's Monthly Brunch. We met back at Colby Sawyer and instantly clicked. Jasmine has the most welcoming energy, and she's all about lifting women up and building community. Today, we'll talk about what inspired her to start these monthly brunches and how she builds genuine connections and what it means to create spaces for women to come together. Hi, Jasmine.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm great. I'm good. I'm excited.
Yes.
So.
Just as a context, Jasmine has helped me set up for recording today and has been very patient with me, brought me coffee. I was a hot mess. I came in and I'm like, girl, I gotta go get food. So the moment she came by, we went, got food, and now we're here.
Yeah, it's just been a chill day.
It's been a chill day.
morning.
It's been a good day. It's like the best way to spend a Sunday is just chaotically.
So there's no rush. I'm like, I don't have any other plans today. I'm just here to do this and hang out with you. So
I'm super excited to do this. We've been wanting to do this for a long time, but I wanted to talk with you. How did we first become friends? Like, we've been talking with each other all day, trying to figure out how we actually became friends.
Yeah, I genuinely think it was at a college party is where I'm going with this, of someone who knew both of us mutually and introduced us at some point. But I can't put like an actual pin of like, this is the day, this is when we met. I just remember like us having just like a spark with like our energy.
Yes.
And then just like, I like this person. I want to get to know this person more. I want to hang out with this person.
I just wish I knew how I met you, like more like, I think we were probably a little tipsy.
It had to be. Couple shots in.
Yeah.
Sure.
And we probably danced at some point that night too.
Yes, that's I'm
You're like a hype girl. You were definitely a hype girl. And I was like, oh my gosh, my kind of person.
Yeah. No, I think our energies just clicked, and since then, we just love coming together and connecting and building on our relationship. So,
for sure. Yeah,
it's been great. So.
I think we've mellowed out a lot though.
Well, yeah, naturally.
Yes.
Right? Hopefully, so.
Yeah. Okay, so I just love thinking about how we actually met.
We'll have to figure it out.
We'll have to ask Callan and see if she was the one that introduced us.
She could have been.
We'll never know until we ask her.
Come back around to it, guys.
All right. So today we wanted to talk about your Women's Monthly Brunch.
Yes.
And I wanted to know, first of all, what is Women's Monthly Brunch?
Okay. So Women's Monthly Brunch is a community where women just come together to, one, have some mimosas and chit-chat, but also it was created to bring people together. Is one of my favorite things to do. I love bringing people together. And not necessarily for me, I just like to bring people together so like they're not alone, so people don't feel alone. And creating a space where, in this case, for the brunches, where women can uplift each other, share, inspire each other, collaborate with each other. I just think we need more of that. So that's what it is. It's just a community of women coming together to share and uplift each other and collaborate. So,
where are these brunches?
Everywhere. I'm just kidding.
We wish. We're gonna go like countrywide, nationwide.
Right,
sorry.
Give me a couple years. No, so right now, I mean, it's based in Boston areas. And so a lot of them have been like in South Boston. Majority of them have been like downtown Boston. We've had some in Back Bay. The next one coming up is going to be in Cambridge. So it's just kind of like Boston area, I would say. I try to find a place that we can go to that's different every single time, just to keep it, I don't know, spontaneous, creative.
Variety,
right? Yeah.
Yes.
So they're a little bit of here and there around the Boston area.
Yeah. And you've inspired me to take the Amtrak down, and I've learned to maybe not effectively navigate the T.
Yeah, you're crazy because I was literally looking up where you would like go and how far. I'm
Yeah.
like, that's a long time. I mean, I guess if you're just, bring a laptop and you're chilling.
Yeah, that's what I was doing. I can bring my laptop on the train, and then I would come see you all. And I just, again, like I really prioritize like having a strong group of women that I can connect with every now and then.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, I love this. When you first sent that text message out to like the group chat, it was so awesome. We were so intentional. You're like, hey ladies, this year I want to be more intentional about fostering these friendships. And I'm like, that's exactly what we need. She's saying exactly what I would love to do, but I wasn't like brave enough to do it, or I didn't have the initiative to really start it. So you really lit that fire, and you continue to like inspire me by like,
you're so sweet.
You've been coordinating these monthly brunches and group chats that are over 30 people.
Just about, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Some stragglers.
Some stragglers here and there.
On Insta, random individual messages, but it takes a lot of coordination to have this happen every first Sunday of every month.
It's a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of fun. And for me, I don't really see it as like an extra thing to do. It's just, like I said, like bringing people together is something I like to do. It's more of like, I guess this would be my hobby. I don't know. So I guess, some people do painting and I do brunches with women and working on other projects, but it's a lot of fun and I enjoy it a lot. It doesn't seem like extra work at all. It just seems like something I enjoy doing. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. And I feel like we talked about this before I became up with the brunches. You were like, how do we be intentional about like bringing people together and doing things and meeting people? And it's so hard. It's so hard to meet women in your 20s or just friends in general. It's just not a fun time. It's so hard. And just like meeting genuine people that like have like aligned interests or hobbies, and I feel like that's hard. But I feel like, who doesn't like brunch? So that's easy. Food brings people together.
For sure.
You put food in the mix, people will come.
For sure. And you mentioned mimosas, but you don't have to get mimosas. You can get coffee.
No, yeah, it's not. Yeah, we're not all alcoholics out here.
No. Yes, but I just love it so much. I had a question, so I have to read some of my notes because this girl has ADHD. Like, actually diagnosed.
It will go everywhere. Or just, yeah.
Bebop. They call me Miss Bebopper. Okay, so what does community mean to you, especially in the context of women supporting women?
Community, it's just so hard because I feel like community to me is a group of people that will connect and support you. I feel like community is not necessarily a number, and it's not necessarily a place. I mean, you're in New Hampshire, and I have a couple other New Hampshire girlies too. So it's not meant to be based out of Boston. It's just that's the easiest place where I can get people, and transportation-wise with the tea and everything, it's easier. But community is where you feel like you have people that have your back, and where you feel like you can gain good feedback and positive feedback. So I feel like it's hard. It's hard to define community, but it's not a place. It's all about the people, because there are so many online communities. I mean, I think it just, it's like where the energy is and where you feel welcomed.
I love that you said where the energy is, because it's hard to describe, but as someone who attends the monthly brunches and as someone who's known Jasmine for years, it's like you have a very warm energy and you're very hospitable and you make people feel welcome. So I'm just throwing that out there, some positive feedback for you.
Thank you. I mean, that's the goal. Yeah. I feel like, some of my friends too, they're going to listen to this and be like, Jasmine is so hard to become friends with. And I'm like, I know. Like, I feel like in my own bubble, oh my gosh, in my own bubble, it's so hard. I talk a lot with my hands. I'm going to hit things.
FYI, the mics might fall.
Yeah. But I feel like in my own bubble, I'm very like, to myself. And I'm a welcoming person, but I think it's hard to get close to me. And so they're probably like, yeah, Jasmine is just, she's hard to become friends with. But the brunches are made to like bring the community, and it's not necessarily for me, but it's just to make other people feel like they have other people there, because the worst feeling is to feel like you're alone, and not a single soul should feel like they're alone. Like, you have to have that community of people, and that could be 2-3 people. I had a brunch where it was just me, Becca, and our girl Juana, and it was the 3 of us, and we had a good time just talking. And it's not about the number. I mean, even when I first started them, I think I said, like, I'm gonna be going. I try to keep it as casual as possible, because I'm like, if you want to come, come. If you can't, that's fine. If you want to come to 2, you want to come to none. If you want to come to like all of them, like, it's just so wide open. So it doesn't need to be a lot of people. It's just, if you want to catch up and you want to create a community and join that, it's there for you.
I love that so much. You've done such a great job.
You keep saying that.
Okay, I'll stop. I'll start saying that you've done a terrible job. No, I've told random people, I'm like, hey, you gotta come to this brunch, this women's monthly brunch. Like, it's such a good time. And
they are a good time.
Yeah. So back to the community part, we often hear phrases like woman empowering women or building a community of strong women on social media. What does it mean to you personally?
Of like just building a community?
Of empowering women.
I love empowering women. I love empowering, people in general. But to go with the monthly brunches of just, I think it's so important to have women supporting women and uplifting each other, which I think our generation has done a really good job of in just trying to do more. But I think it's so impactful when you have another woman to talk to gain inspiration from. What is that saying when it's like, if a guy compliments you, you're like, okay, yeah. But if you're walking and a girl's like, you look good, you're like, thank you. Like, it makes you, there's something about it that is just, it's a different vibe. And so I just think we need more of it. And I wanted a community, and I couldn't find one that I wanted to be a part of or that felt right to me, or I didn't fit. And so I was like, I'm just going to have to create it myself. And that's when, I just started bringing people together, and I was, able to meet your friend Kelsey, and she's amazing, and she just comes to the mic without you, and I'm like, yeah, we don't need Madi, like, sorry. I'm like, just come by yourself, it's totally fine. And she does, and it's just, you see all of, like, just everyone's face when they light up and they see each other, and it's different when you have another woman, because there's a certain understanding there with things that women go through, things that women struggle with that other people don't get. And especially, we're like, there's an array of different ages, but everyone's majority in their 20s right now that are in the group, or like early 30s. And I just think there's a perspective and a respect there that we all have for each other. And I just think it's important to bring that together.
I do think so. Yeah, in the brunches, you can expect to come, and everyone comes at different times, which everyone needs to work on getting to.
Listen, don't get me started with the time, because I'm telling them all a different time for November, so I'm not even gonna say it on here. There's a time frame. I have the time. I'm telling y'all a different time for the brunch.
I've been doing well. I think it's because of the train.
Well, yeah, because you have to time it, or else you'd be so late. Yeah,
but if you relied on me to like come with car, I might be like a little later. Transport myself with a vehicle. But back to the part, I think that when I do go to the brunches, everyone approaches each other with such curiosity. Like, when I was telling someone, oh, you should come to Women's Monthly Brunch, like, that sounds intimidating a little bit. Going into a group of women, like, are they like the Real Housewives of whatever, Boston, or are they actually going to be welcoming?
Right.
And I think that whenever I go, everyone is genuinely curious to find out, like, what I've been up to. Like, tell me about what this happened. Like, Allie, she was getting into medical school, right?
Yeah, she's going to school for her PhD in
Yes.
neuroscience.
In neuroscience. So, like, I remember, like, keeping tabs on, like, her application process.
Right.
And then people were asking me about the podcast and just, like, work. Kelsey's really good at remembering what everyone's been up to and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely, I mean, that's what it's for, too, is to, you know, like, oh, I see a new face. Like, what do you do? Because, again, it's about, I don't want to say the word community over and over, but that's really what it's about, is creating community. And it's not just, you know, about, like, women connecting with each other, although that is, like, a part of it. But it's also, like, oh, like, I do this for a living. You know, maybe I want to switch careers. Oh, well, I know that Madi is, like, in career stuff and she does different things. Like, maybe I want to do that. Or, like, oh, I know that Allie's, like, getting her PhD. What was that process like? And gaining information with each other, sharing that. I think it's so important. I mean, even I was like, how do I get the word out with the brunches and what I'm doing with Not Singular, and, like, what do I do with it and how do I do it? I'm like, Madi has a podcast. Let me reach out to my girl. Like, it's those connections and building that circle of just, like, you know, bouncing off of each other and using that, because that goes so far. Like, think about if we all do that and share resources with each other, like, how much not only, like, we can grow, but our communities that we're all intersected and can grow too, because you're making those connections. And you're like, oh, hey, I know someone that I know from the monthly brunch that knows X, Y, and Z that can help my friend over here. Like, you know what I mean? So that's kind of the goal, and that's really what it's for.
For sure. I've been to networking events and, like, young professional networks, and what I'm hearing is, like, networking kind of vibes, but it's very far from, like, the performative networking. Like, this is what I do, this is where I'm from, this is what I need. Like, it's very much like, how can we connect with each other as women, and how can we support each other? Which I really appreciate.
It's again, you want to build relationships, and it's about building relationships, supporting each other, but you can do that and build your network at the same time. You
100%.
can do both, for sure. And I feel like that's the main reason why I want to try to keep it so laid back, because it's like, you know, come as you are, because you want to come in sweatpants to brunch. I mean, I'm cool with that. Like, sometimes you want to dress up, sometimes you don't. Like, it's very laid back, and it's just, you know, come as you are, and the right people will find you.
100%. Yeah, you've definitely, like, the people who come all are, I think, looking for something similar, and that is connection, and, like, friendship too. Yeah. So what does, like, a typical brunch look like?
Okay, so I guess going into, like, the setup of a brunch, right? So I have to get a head count, and I try to do that, like, a week, 2 weeks. It kind of just depends on, like, my idea of what I want to do for the brunch. With if I want a specific place that I need certain reservations for, I'll try to get a head count beforehand, because I have to make reservations for them. But usually it's around a week or 2 weeks before I start to get a head count. And then I start to look at places that we haven't been to, different ones. Like, I have my own list. Some girls will send me stuff like, this is cute, like, we'll try this place. And I'll call and see if they're able to take the amount of women that we have, but that's like 10, 8. And then once I have that scheduled and made up, then I'll do a separate chat with the girls who are going. So the only people that get the location and the time and all those specifics are the women that are going. So I do a different group chat for that to send out the information. And then everyone just comes. There's usually a theme or a color that I tell everyone to wear. And then I try to think of some kind of activity to do. I think there was one brunch where I didn't have to do the activity. Everyone was just chit-chatting, doing their own thing. And I was like, I don't even need this activity. Everyone's doing great with that. And some of the activities are just there to do for fun. I'll leave, like, pencils and leave it there on the table. Sometimes if I think there's, like, a couple new girls coming, I'll keep them there to kind of spark conversation. Or sometimes, you know, if I feel like everything's going well, I just won't even use the activity at all.
I like the New Year's activity that we did.
That was fun. I'm going to do that one again.
That one was my favorite, where it was, like, 5 things you're grateful for.
The New Year's one? Yeah. The New Year's was the bottle. when you write in a bottle.
Well, we also had like a little journal activity.
Oh, we did. Yeah.
I love that.
I forgot about the journal
You
activity.
gave us all journals with little pencils or pens, and then
Yes.
we like 5 things you're grateful for, 5 things you want to let go of, and then 5 things you want to see in the new year. Something like that.
Yeah. I like the bottle one too, where you write on a bottle like something that you want to accomplish within the year, or just in general that you want to accomplish, and you're able to pop it open.
Yeah, someone got a new job. Someone put like get a new job, and then they were able to do that and drink it.
Yeah, mine was new home, and I did that, and I was like, guys, I have to pop my bottle. So that's. I mean, I try to think of things that we can come back to and share later. But they're a lot of fun. The activities are fun, and they're fun for me because I get to try out new things and see if it works or if it doesn't work. Like, so they're a lot of fun.
It's very creative, very creative. I love I wanted to give an example to everyone that Jasmine's so inclusive that she'll remember that it's someone's birthday, and then she'll get a birthday card and have all the ladies sign it and wish someone a happy birthday. It's the sweetest.
I try to remember. Sometimes, if I don't know your birthday, I will not know that your birthday is that month, or if we're just not as close. I'm working on it because I do want to be, again, like intentional. So I'm gonna have everyone give me their birthdays for next year, so that way I can keep track.
It's hard to keep track of all those people though. Like 16 people are coming to this upcoming Sunday.
I'm so excited. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
It's gonna be really fun. I love it. I wanted to ask some other questions. Let's see. You know, we're actually kind of naturally just talking about exactly everything I wanted to mention.
Really?
So some of the things I want to talk about was like friendships being tough to maintain in our 20s. How do you see the brunches as a space for nurturing those genuine connections? We talked about that. We talked about you building a culture of inclusivity and openness at these events. How do you ensure all women feel welcome and supported no matter their background or story?
I feel like I always just kind of leave it as like an open invitation. I'm like, anyone come. And I mean, it's just leaving the door open, making sure that, everyone who does come is also open to that as well. I mean, everyone kind of knows who's going to be attending because I send out the attendance list. But it's just, keeping the welcomeness there, making sure like I'm going into it because I'm like, okay, well, I'm setting this up. Like, even if I have something going on, I'm like, I gotta put that aside right now because this is something that's important. So to maintain that positive energy and like go into it. But it's really just letting them know like, hey, like I'm glad you're here, and like checking in, like if, like you said, like checking in to see if like there's any updates. If someone is new, I'll try to kind of sit closer to them.
Yep.
And seeing, because I think it is hard, especially when you're a new girl, going into it and you're like, I don't really know these girls. What am I supposed to do? Which is why I try to do the activities to spark conversation. But also if someone's new, like looking around and seeing like, hey, Madi, can you go like chit chat with, I don't know, Barbara? Just try to think of a name. And just, see like, and just connect there. Because I mean, sometimes, it's just people's comfort zone, and some people do just kind of sit back and kind of observe and see what's going on. Other people are chatty Catherine, so it just kind of depends. But I think the best way to continue to foster it is just to be open, continue to like remind the girls to be open, and
Yes.
If there's new people to ask them questions. And,
For sure.
And continuing that positivity. So that's kind of my hope that it continues to be like that for sure.
I think it's maintained a good track record the past 11 brunches. No, 10.
We're going into 11.
Yes.
Yeah, November will be 11.
Yes. So what do you expect? What is the future for women's monthly brunches?
Oh my goodness. I have a couple ideas. I won't go into whole details because I want to like keep them with me a little bit until they're fully planned out. But I do want to see if, I'm able to branch them off into either a different state. I've had someone, family relative, reach out to me, and I was telling her about them. She's like, I would love to do this. where I am, if you could just like send me like your outline for it. And I'm like, yeah, like, so we'll see, possibly. And then Women's Monthly Brunches it's under an umbrella. So I have Not Singular is like the whole thing. I guess I would just call it a community group right now because we're not an organization, we're not a nonprofit, we're just people coming together. And it's just about building communities to support communities. And so I saw a need where, bringing people together and women, and that's where Women's Monthly Brunches came from. And I have another community that I want to launch in 2025 with empowerment. And that's just, trying to schedule 3 different hands-on things to do within the community. One of them being the walks to like prevent suicide and raising money for that. And we'll do that under empowerment with like the Not Singular logo. And it's just really just about like bringing awareness to different causes and supporting people. And again, just communities, building a community or communities to support other communities. And sometimes we can't give financially, but we can give our time. And so that's the hope for, I guess, Not Singular as a whole. And for monthly brunches to possibly expand. I mean, I'll say that the build out is a lot easier with this upcoming year because going into it, I just knew I wanted to start them. I was like, I don't know how to do this, but I'm going to text this group of girls and tell them I'm going to brunches the first Sunday of every month if anyone would like to join me and catch up and collab and discuss things.
Do it all.
Right, yeah. And then, but now, like seeing how it went for this year, I mean, it was a really good success and got feedback from the girls. They want to continue to do it. So I have like a calendar already laid out for next year of the different themes and activities and stuff like that. So that's already planned out for the year. So I'm already a step ahead than I was last year for sure. But I'm excited. I think as we grow, I want to try to make partnerships. Maybe being able to like gain sponsors of, if there's like a, what would you say? What are the startups? Yes. If there's like, small startups and they want to, get their name out there and they're trying to support a cause, being able to like maybe share that with the brunches. And just, again, it's all about creating community. So however I can better create and support communities within the monthly brunch community, within empowerment that's going to start in 2025. I mean, however I can do that, that's what I want to do, is just continue building out those communities. So we'll see where it goes. It could go in any direction. But that's kind of the hope of Not Singular and the brunches, is just to continue to build out those communities and create a space where people feel like they belong and they have support. Because that's really what it is. I mean, I've always felt like, no one should be alone. And I feel like I've felt that in so many different ways. Like my siblings have all left me. They're all not up here in the New England area with me anymore. They've all branched off and they're creating their own families and making their own dreams and careers happen. And it gets lonely, especially growing up, super close to your siblings. Then yes. They all leave. So I just don't want people to feel lonely. It's probably like the worst feeling, honestly. And it's just, I think that everyone should have a space where they feel like they belong, even if it's just like, I need to get out the house. Because that was one of my intentions, was like, for me, like, I just love bringing people together for sure. But I'm like, I also need to get myself out the house. And so making the brunches also just holds myself accountable for like, maybe I don't feel like being too social today, but I can go get brunch and just sit there maybe and if anyone wants to talk to me, then I'll be able to talk. But sometimes, we all get in those lulls. And so even if it's just something for you to do for that Sunday to get out of bed and help a little bit, then then I feel like I've succeeded. So
I love that. You're creating so much good momentum and positive energy. You're holding yourself accountable to like just wellness in general.
Yeah.
Definitely getting outside the house I need to be better about that, because I can spend a whole weekend on my couch watching Netflix and not seeing the sun naturally. Just it's coming through my windows, but like that's why my vitamin D levels are slightly lower.
It's hard sometimes, especially when we're working, and it's hard. Life is hard in general, and I just I want someone to have that, either I gotta go to this brunch because Jasmine is expecting me there, like, oh gosh, like, you know what I mean, like if I have to be that person in the back of your brain like yelling at you, like to help in any type of way, it's just I'm here for it.
Definitely.
So,
and as someone who's attended these brunches and I'm friends with you, I always feel very uplifted after going to them. Like that's why I make the trip down from New Hampshire to Boston.
It's so funny too, because I had to leave a brunch early. I was watching my dog, Clyde.
Yes, I
shout out
that.
Clyde.
Shout out.
And I had to leave early because I had to let him out. And I think my coworker Jaylene, who also attends.
Yep.
She was like, yeah, we stayed for like another like 40 minutes after you were gone. And I was like, wow. I'm like, I love hearing that, because as much as I am like coordinating it, I don't want to be I don't even know what to say. Like I want it to be everyone.
Yes.
Like, again, like being that inclusive part. Like I'm not like in charge of, I don't know how to say it. I don't know how to say what I want to say.
Like you're hosting, but you're also letting people interact with each other organically.
Yeah. I don't want them to need me to interact. I just, so to hear that, like I left and y'all are still chit-chatting, talking, creating your own relationships with each other. Like I sure, like, let me be that like introduction, but like foster those relationships with each other and hang out with each other. And I think some people went and got their nails done with each other.
And they went to a concert. They went to go see 21 Pilots.
Who was that?
Kelsey and Ashna.
Oh my gosh. I see, and that's what I live for. Again, creating that space, creating that opportunity to like, not everyone's gonna bend, right? Sometimes personalities clash, which is fine. And that's totally fine. But if you are able to meet 1, 2 of the girls that you're like want to hang out with, that's what it's there for.
Yeah.
Connecting people.
Yeah.
So that makes me happy. Makes me happy. I'm like, yes, I'm winning. I'm winning.
You really are. And even if like I wouldn't say like personalities clash like at the brunches. It's more of like maybe you don't click instantly with someone,
right?
But there's always like good energy. There's no negative energy harbored toward one another. It's very like, I'm here to connect with everyone. If you're coming here to these brunches, you have that kind of vibe going on.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. No, I haven't seen any bad energy. I think it really is only just if like you're new and it's like you're just trying to figure out how to navigate and like meet all these different personalities. But it really is just a fun time and a good vibe all around. Everyone's great.
I agree. So let us know, how can everyone find you?
Oh my gosh. So the group chat is going away, guys. The group chat is going away.
What's happening?
So I was able to create the Instagram. So that is on there. You can follow us at WMB_Women's Monthly Brunch.
Yes.
I had to think about that at the top of my head. And so starting in 2025, January, the first brunch, everything's going to be all on Instagram. I can't keep track of you guys on my phone no more. So which is great because it's like, we're expanding, we're getting bigger. So everything is going to be through the Instagram. I do have an email too, which I believe is attached to it. So if anyone has any questions, they can always email me. But also, you can also just text me, reach out to me, come talk to me. But yeah, you can reach us and see us on Instagram, and we're there. And everything's going to be there. All the announcements, attendance, everything's going to be taken on Instagram now. So starting 2025. So December will be the last brunch that you guys will get a group chat from me. Everything else is going to be on Instagram. Yeah.
I love it. I'm so excited. This is so fun.
It is. It's exciting. And it's so fun to see ideas come to fruition. vision and like seeing that of just like wanting to be intentional about making a community and seeing it grow and like people adding numbers. My favorite thing is when like, oh, I have a friend, can like they come? And I'm like, oh my God, why are you even asking me? Like, yes.
I think it's a bring a girlfriend type of thing.
Yeah,
it's
no,
like
definitely like bring someone for sure. And there's not necessarily, well, I would say people are drinking. But again, you don't have to drink. But I would say like maybe it's for like 18 plus women is kind of the vibe.
Yep.
So yeah, it's all about just connecting for sure.
I'm so excited.
It's a good time.
It's a really good time. Well, Jasmine, thank you so much for coming to talk about Women's Monthly Brunch.
Thank you for having me.
I really want to just tell everyone, just come. You're going to have a great time. And I'm looking forward to seeing what happens next.
Yeah. Pictures will be coming for November, and December is going to be even more fun. We'll have a potluck, and it's going to be hosted.
Christmas.
Yeah, theme is White Christmas. Everyone's going to wear white. It's going to be a good time. So, yeah,
photo booth.
What did you say?
Photo booth.
Oh, photo booth. Yeah, photo booth will be there. But yeah, no, it's just it'll be a good time. December is just a celebration for the end of the year and just hanging out. So I'm excited. But thank you so much.
Of course.
Was fun.
This was really fun. Well, I hope you have a great week. And I always say till next time, but I'll see you next week on Sunday.
Right. Over and out.
Over and out.